Everyone gets 24 hours in a day. Nobody gets 25, nobody gets 23. But one becomes president and one becomes a simple clerk. Why? The simple answer lies that it's a result of your karma from the previous birth. But even let's compare one thing. But there is something you can control in this life. What you can control? Let's say one person gets like 7-story building, big bungalows, but that may be unorganized, maybe dirty, filthy, whatnot. And other person gets only 2 BHK, small apartment, but that may be nice, neat, beautiful, well organized. So the way of life would be different. The one that's living in the filthy 7-story bungalow, he may not be that happy compared to the one who is living in the even small 2 BHK, but it's more well organized, clean and nice. Same is true for us, our body and the way of our life. We have to understand what we can control, what we cannot control. Those are the only 2 things we have to understand in order to get those type of happiness. What are those two things? One, what I can control. That's only where you put your energy, and that's only thing you should focus on. And there's other part where you cannot control, and if you put your energy over there, you are simply wasting the time and energy of your life, and that's why you get frustrated and unsuccessful. Let's take a couple examples. What we cannot control. We cannot control our past. The past doesn't mean what happened just yesterday, but what we did on the previous birth. We simply cannot control it. Whatever we got as a result of it, that's what we have to live with it. So don't worry about it. Not at all. Don't worry. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future, because that's something it's out of our control. And that's what Geeta says, same thing by Bhagavan Lord Krishna. What other things we cannot control is the action of others. How other person gonna act, we cannot control. So don't worry about your neighbors, don't worry about the bad friends, the bad people at work, whatnot. Don't worry about the actions of others, because if you start putting your energy over there, you are simply wasting the energy and you are losing the battle. Other things, what you cannot control, it's the opinions of the other. If the other person has opinionated it, if he or she has a bias, let that be. If you try to fix it, you are simply putting your energy in the wrong directions. What's the other thing we cannot control? That's what happens around me. You cannot control, so don't worry about too much on that. The most of the time people develop some complex is why? Because we keep thinking about what other people think about me. The moment you start about it, you're gonna start feeling inferiority complex. The complex gonna develop in your brain, and that's again waste of energy. That's out of your control. Okay, so don't focus the energy on that. Third thing, what other things is outcome of my effort. Same thing again from Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachanam. Do only karma. Don't worry about the result. Never worry about the result. It's out of your control, simply putting. And one more thing out of control, the one we cannot control is like how others take care of themselves. If the person is doing something by themselves, the way they are taking care of themselves, you cannot simply control that. So those are some of the examples of what we cannot control, and if we try to control, we are simply wasting the energy, and that's why we are losing. So other side, the brighter side, what we can control, let's look at some of those. Those are my personal boundaries. What I want to do, where up to what level I want to go, it's my boundaries. I will do one things, but I cannot fall down certain level, so I have to set my own boundary. In the philosophical world, we call it bhakti as well. So my boundaries has to be there. That's the one I can control, that I can set my boundaries. Other things, my own personal thoughts and my actions, those I can control. So I have to gain and exposed to better thoughts, powerful thoughts. Those thoughts we only gonna get from the Sanatan Shastras. So my thoughts and actions, actions are part, it's stem from the thoughts. So important part, fundamental thing is the thoughts. I can control my thoughts. How? If I don't have a thoughts, I will get myself exposed to the Shastra and I'll get the brighter and powerful thoughts from there. Next is a Dhyay. I can control that. I can set my goal. Once I set my goal, that's under my control. I can control those goal setting. I can control how I set my Dhyay. Other thing, important thing is where I put my energy. I keep saying that. Where do you put your energy? It's in your control. So where we want to put the energy is under my control. So that's where I'm going to focus, where I should spend my 24 hours and how I want to spend it, on what subject I want to spend it. One more thing on the controlling myself, what I can control is how I speak to myself. Now, everybody speaks to themselves. They think about themselves. Hey, I did something like that. I should have done that way. Everybody does that, in whether you accept or not. Everybody talk to themselves. So how you talk to yourself is very important, and that's the one thing you can control. And other thing is, I won't go too many lists, but the one more is like how I challenge myself and how I handle those challenges. So if there is any challenge, how I handle those, and how other people have handled successfully. If you want to see that, Bharatiya Shastra is the result, is the answer. So anyway, so if you look at what I can control, what I cannot control, and if I put my whatever the energy God has given me in the areas where I can control, then we can, like the similar to analogy, like 2 BHK nice beautiful house, or whatever you have, just maximize your potential, maximize your capacity, and then the success will come, the pleasure of the life will come. All right, namaskar.